Good morning, dear viewers. Well, it's morning for me. I'm off on a ramble today to Clitheroe. Lovely little town, not too far, about an hour's on the train away from here. It's got a castle, which I've never seen, and it's rather famous for having a very, very large wine shop, one of the largest in the UK. So we'll go and see what we mean. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder. A bit worried about this if I sit in the rear two carriages. Yes, you've got to sit in the first two carriages, otherwise they won't let you off the train. Well, we've arrived in Clitheroe, all safe and sound, and it's a bit upsetting because this is the 6th journey, well, the 12th train that I've got that's been on time each time. And a little bit disconcerting in that opposite the station I see something that is even a bigger magnet than a pint of Guinness. Yes, what have I spied from the station? Across the tracks, it's a Booths supermarket. In my opinion, the next one up from Waitrose. And there's the town. Well, it's the opposite end of the town centre. And I must say that the interchange is probably one of the nicest little walkthroughs to a town that I've been to so far. I don't wish to in any way sort of labour things train-ifically, if there's such a word, but very quaint station. And we're just about to enter the main town. Now, opposite the train station, we've got this hostelry, which is rather unusual because, as they say locally, there's people up on the roof. And it's right beside Dawson's department store, so you can roll in when you're a little bit the worse for wear, and your partner can persuade you into buying something you don't want or need. The station lounge and rooms looks a very imposing building. Some nice little original Lancashire houses. And opposite, something you don't see very often, that is a traditional police station. Traditional stone, traditional usage. And as we head off up to the town, typical Lancashire view, I'm not too sure the name of this particular cafe would have the similar connotations to a nice little establishment in the centre of Manchester. First of my signs of the day, the beer shack with the E and the R back to front. No idea why. I don't think it'll make any difference to their products and quality of them. There's an interesting building with someone pinching my architectural idea of looking up, but more importantly, this quite impressive building, Victoria buildings from 1879, houses D. Byrne and Company. And what are D. Byrne and Company? Well, yes, you can see they sell wine and spirits, but they're probably one of the largest in the country. They certainly are in the north anyway. They've won more awards than you can drink a toast to. And there's just a couple more awards just to keep you on your toes. But don't let the fancy awards fool you, because they do sell a lot of wines at just affordable prices. Well, there we are, folks. What do you think of that for a selection? And that's just the main shop reception. And here's downstairs in the cellars of the shop, wines just as far as the eye can see. And this is now no longer the main shop, I should add. They have an old brewery inside, but here we go, look. Just never ends. Fabulous. You name it, and you can get it. Here's a couple of the slightly higher end ones. A couple more here. Another one there. I'm not a keen champagne man myself, to be honest. And another one. A couple of other cheap ones hiding away in the corner. Even some from Austria, for those who didn't know that Austria produces wines, as does England, with the selection growing. Couldn't let this go unnoticed. I wonder if the name got anything to do with the failure of this particular business. It's called Sour Butts. The men's room, I went for a tinkle, but sadly it's a barbershop. Thankfully, the departure lounge is a travel agent and not funeral care. Again, more lovely Lancashire stone buildings. And as we pan around behind me, It's a lovely vista down towards the bottom part of the town, and the library, well, we'll have to go and have a look at that. That's a wonderful looking building. It's called Marketplace apparently, and this is the White Lion, nice traditional pub, and that's just opposite the public library, which was opened. I just see a sign there. Let's go and have a look. No, we'll take that back. Not opened. Erected by Andrew Carnegie. I wonder, is he any relation to the Carnegie Library people? I know you can't really see it, but just to give you a little bit of context, it seems the borough of Clitheroe was charter granted in 1147, which is nearly 12 o'clock. No, I should stop doing that. And there's the library there. And I suspect Town Hall, but I have a feeling it could be a church because it's Church Street. No, that's possibly not the Town Hall because I've just spied the Town Hall. What a lovely anonymous entrance. And then as we walk up, we can see they've made use of just a row of original, well, I suppose they were cottages. Well, no, maybe not, because they've got these lovely arches that are built in. Ribble Valley Borough Council. And this is the River Valley Borough Council Civic Suite. So at least if you know in there, they're going to be civil with you. Oh no, that's civic, two different words. It's just so lovely to see all these original Lancashire stone houses. And please bear with me if I sort of drop into a different world and occasionally call them Yorkshire stone, because we're in Lancashire. Lovely St Mary's Centre. Used to be a parish school, it seems. And I was very surprised to see, look what's on, of all things, in Clitheroe. Calendar girls. Well, well, well. Unless it's just people that sell calendars, I don't know. And as we look down this beautiful vista that is Church Street, it's revealed that, yes, it's the parish church of St Mary Magdalene, no less. And a fine building it is too. Magnificent spire. I hate to use the word, but there's positive quaintness all around Clitheroe, and it's lovely to see. And I'm delighted to see that I'm not the only one who's nuts. Now there's a very sensible way to encourage a 2-hour visit to the town, instead of putting restrictions and machines that people haven't got apps to work on. A lovely old building, and I would imagine it really is old, but there's no date on it or anything. No dogs in the library. That would have annoyed my dog Shakespeare. He was an avid reader. This is the back of what I thought was the council offices, which may have been a church, but may not have been. But it's all very, very, very nice. And just a little bit of a look further at this end of the town before we head off up the other end. And there's something you don't see very often. A traditional toy shop, combining books, magazines and stationery to boot. Just bumped into a lovely lady. Well, I didn't bump into her exactly, but she told me, and we had a laugh about it, I've got to get into Lancashire dialect when wandering around. So just to tell everybody, we're going up Thill to the castle. And there's the castle at top of Thill. The hill, that is, folks. Shop of Hope. Shall I go in there and see if there's any hope that I might get through the day without collapsing? And the Rose and Crown Hotel. We'll just nip up there and have a closer look. On the way, the Swan and Royal Hotel, offering accommodation. Oh look, they knew I was coming. And there's the Rose and Crown Hotel, nestling next door to the Conservative Club, dating back to 1929. And no, won't bother with that. Oh, just discovered a little shopping area. Let's have a look and a nosy. Oh, isn't this positively lovely? I must be honest, we have eaten in the past, well, dim distant past, at the Küchenhaus at the bottom. We're getting near, so only a couple of more deviations before we get to the castle. I thought for a moment the greatest sausage shop in the world, that's Cowman's, was closed, but then I spied this very sensible notice. Hot weather, no stuff in windows. Very, very sensible. And that's just a quick look up from where we have come, and that's down to where we might go. And it's Castlegate, so let's go across from Castlegate to the actual castle and have a wander inside. Nice little castle gardens area as we enter the grounds. Very pleasant, all that greenery. It seems to have been named Queen Elizabeth Field on the late Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012. And here we go. It's a Norman castle, and it was built by the de Lacy family about 1100, which is an hour before midday. Sorry, I know, I stopped doing that. And to shouts from visitors of, "Hey Myron, where's the lift?" I don't think there is one. We've got to stare it, and I don't mean just look at it. To say the Normans probably had Ernie Wise legs, you know, short, fat, hairy ones, and weren't as tall as we have now become, I must say these steps are very steep. And as comedian Jimmy Cricket used to say, I use the term comedian very loosely, and there's more. As all these idiots in emails say to you, "Oh, I share your pain." Come on, guys, you can actually share it in real life now. And as we get towards the summit, there's the actual castle bit itself. Looks absolutely delightful. And this is the Norman keep bit, which will have a wander through the boat hole. Whether you call it a bolt hole or not, I don't know, but let's have a look inside. Oh my goodness. Very Normanish. Ah, there's a way out, thankfully. With a better view of the main castle area. You do have to marvel how they got all the stones up here to the highest point of the town without a JCB, unless there were JCBs in those days, but they were probably pulled by horses, which defeats the whole purpose. Right, it's panorama, not the programme on television. It's panorama time from the ramparts, can I say that, of the Castle Keep here in the wee town of Clitheroe. And there's Pennine type hills and all the rest as far as you can see. Isn't it lovely that there's no awful bumptious high-rise things? I'm going to just walk a little bit more around the perimeter of the keep, and you can see across the Lancashire hills. If you look carefully enough, you can just see in the distance Belfast. No, only kidding you. Oh, a bird. Isn't this lovely? Absolutely lovely. And then down below I spy a little amphitheatre. So there we go. Just taking it in and enjoying it. Right, time to do some wending my way back down from the Castle Keep, and we'll have a look and see what the situation is with the museum. It's only a short visit today, so I don't know whether I get a chance to go around the museum, but as I say, these series of rambles that I'm doing are very much exploratory, so I know what to do next time I come. And it's just been absolutely lovely, and the day is glorious. It is so hot, it's wonderful. I just hope this is not the summer. Oh, isn't going down so much more satisfying and easy than dragging one's overweight body that's quite unfit all the way up to the top instead? With the infuriating habit people now have of saying that instead of dying, you pass, I just hope this is not one of those places. No dead bodies lying around. Sorry, no past bodies lying around. Yes, I can just imagine Deborah Meaden looking after a whole load of children. And a 1914 to 1918 First World War memorial, just with the old Norman keep in the background. And as we wander up to the castle, I have to say, this is very beautiful. Well, there's no reason it shouldn't be, really. They've done a little bit of modernistic glassware and stuff to connect the castle with the Stuart's gallery, unless it is a chap called Stuart who owns the gallery. I don't know. But there's no point in complaining because they've done exactly the same at the Acropolis Museum in Greece. Ah, to the pinnacle. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm looking for a pinnacle. Anyone seen a pinnacle? No, can't find the pinnacle. I've just been informed that the pinnacle is down here somewhere. Let's have a look. Oh yes, I see another sign there in the distance to the pinnacle. The Monty Python pointing hand is, I have to confess, providing a little bit of concern, because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. The rear side of the castle is certainly very castle-y, to stave off invaders from Greater Manchester and Liverpool. I can do that with a chicken. Oh, these are more gentrified, gentle steps. Oh, I see the pinnacle now. I can see it there. Just let's go and have a closer look. And this, it appears, is the pinnacle. Let's try and find out a little bit more about it, shall we? I can see some nice little ossified speakers of the House and members of the Parliament and opposition. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look down. Oh, 1840 to 1854. Part of the parapet of the Houses of Parliament, no less. Oh, right. Ah, so why go all the way down to the Houses of Parliament? Bring part of the Houses of Parliament up to Clitheroe instead. Very sensible. Oh, an angry fish. He mustn't have liked the public's reaction to his last single before he retired. Well, I know little amuses the simple, i.e. me, but this is very delightful. And the weather really helps because it's absolutely burning hot. My first litre of water has been drunk already. Now, I think it's fair to add that Clitheroe Castle, if you've got children, not in prams though, please, but if you've got children, it's a great day out for a bit of climbing upstairs and seeing lovely views, and then you've got the attraction of going back to the town for a cup of tea and a sandwich or a cake or something similar. And that reminds me, it's well after 2 o'clock and I've not had any lunch. You see, I can survive without food if I try. This is the Moor Lane part of the town, which is another shopping area just off the centre, just below the castle. Oh, that's lovely and oldie worldy, isn't it? And that's Megabytes. Presumably everything they sell as food includes apples as a constituent. Banana news. They're still yellow and come in bunches, but look at this. They're actually selling real magazines to encourage people to actually read. How wonderful. Made in floral. I suppose that sort of qualifies for my fascination with English statements or names that don't make too much sense. Twitter Lane Interiors. I can't go in there because they're X-rated. Do you get it? Twitter Lane. Oh, never mind. Please yourselves. A real proper music shop with a 12-string acoustic and a 5-string bass. The real thing. And a nice little Ibanez on the side there. Sorry for the reflections. Oh dear, evening Clitheroe, he's overstayed his welcome. And this is just a quick view up the, oh gosh, up the hill. Do I have to go back up the hill to get to the train? Oh, help me somebody. But it's lovely, really lovely. Oh, and I see the Emporium now. It wasn't the Emporium when I was here last, so let's go and have an investigation. I spy the brown cow is still there. And as I was telling you about this Emporium with 3 floors of restaurants, it's still going strong, but a lady I spoke to who asked me if I was lost, which I am most of the time anyway, said that it's gone extremely expensive. So I'll give it a miss. Oh, this seems to have bitten the dust. It was, as you can see from the half-hearted flag that's flying, it was quite a respectable Italian restaurant. But never mind, that's the way it goes. It seems that here, if you want a bus to Burnley, you don't just get an ordinary bus, you go by Sky Class. This particular building won an award back in 1996 as being a notable old building. I'll just grab a quick view of the blue plate. The blue plate says it's a historic building. No idea what its history is, but you know me in architecture. And the side of the building seems quite interesting too. I gather this must be a slightly older part of the town, despite a 18-plate Mercedes assiduously avoiding me. I thought it was just Five Guys, but it seems inflation seems to have hit here in Clitheroe. And there's the electric Jaguar I'll buy with this evening's lottery win, although I'm not having it in white. I had to do a double take here because everything seems to have gone all very continental. Wondering with the hot weather if I'm actually in Spain or Turkey. But then as we wander along, all is revealed. Don't you just love when your perceptions are dashed? I've no idea what a strang stee is. Well, there's a strang stee if you want to have a look. But somebody has had a go at adding an E to make it strange. 10 out of 10 for trying. And here's a rather lovely public house, the Cross Keys, plainly keeping an eye on people. Oh, I must go up here for a nosy. This looks interesting. Oh, this is positively charming, with lovely Spanish-vacated painted colours. Beautiful. Tom's Table Bistro. And I've just seen a blue plate. Well, a Premier Award in 2000 for a new building. I'm not surprised. This is just lovely. As we head back towards the town centre, it seems to be all uphill from here, which makes a change from, in my case, normally everything goes all downhill. Ooh, isn't this cozy? Weddings and celebrations, private dinner parties. Ooh, steak and date. 27th of May, there's the date. Steak, medium rare for me please. I think I'll go for sirloin. And as we exit to the shop that sells bubbles. Ah, wonderful. I know where we are. We're near the sausage shop. Fat face made for life. I presume that must be a blubber lip emporium. A little bit late in the day, but I've discovered Clitheroe Market, which, oh, antique and collector's fair on a Friday. Oh dear, that could be dangerous. Ah, problem solved. The very easy way. Because it ain't open. Well, I have to visit, I really do. It's an absolute statutory requirement. I know you're thinking, why should I get excited over a supermarket? But when you haven't got a booth locally, this is just absolute heaven. Just to give you a few facts about Clitheroe, which I've added in as an addendum, so to speak, to my ramble in Clitheroe, and that is that it's located 34 miles or 55 kilometres in new money, northwest of Manchester, and it's not too far from the Forest of Bowland, which is an absolutely incredible place. The name Clitheroe, by the way, it's thought to come from the Anglo-Saxon for Rocky Hill, which I might add is no relation to the comedian Harry Hill. And there's a residential area in the town called Whittle Close, and that's named after Frank Whittle, the very famous inventor of the jet engine. And on that particular site, Whittle Close, it's the former jet engine test beds were. So that's, yes, out in Clitheroe, believe it or not. And most famously, anybody of an era, like myself when I was extremely young, used to listen to Radio 4, or what it was called, the Light programme at the time, and it was the Clitheroe Kid. And his name was actually Clitheroe, that was his surname, James Robinson Clitheroe to be precise. and he was a comic entertainer. And there are a few other famous people who hail from Clitheroe as well. And the British television and radio presenter Patty Caldwell, she comes from the town. And the multi-talented counterculture, they call him, author and musician Jeff Nuttall. Frederick Greenhalgh, who served in the United States House of Representatives and was Massachusetts' 38th governor, he's from the town. Sam Galbraith, a neurosurgeon and a UK government minister. Arthur Wrigley, an obstetrician and gynecologist. And after him, the name was given to the Wrigley forceps, which sound extremely painful. Thomas Lister, who was later Baron Ribblesdale. There's Dick Harrison, the left-handed batsman who bowled right arm, strangely enough, in a fast-medium manner for the Lancashire seconds team. There's Luke Blackledge, the Commonwealth super middle heavyweight title boxer. And finally, bronze and silver Olympics canoe champion John Schofield. There are many more from the town, but just thought I'd let you know a few little facts just to show that my little trips out are not just all facile and taking the urine out of shop names that I see. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little ramble around Ramsbottom. I certainly did. It was a bit too hot, so I thought better give in because, you know, fortune doesn't particularly favour the brave when you need to constantly drink water. Thank you very much for joining me, and see you next time.